All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a Whole Lot of Mid. I told you guys, we're going to start live streams on this channel, and I'm going to get some of the timeline favorites, some of your favorite content creators, and I think I've started off with a bang. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of the Proofs in the Puds show. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, man, it's CultureCams from Stoppage Time TV, Proofs in the Pods, Don't Shoot the Messenger, all of that, everywhere, man. 360 TV, everywhere, man. So it's good to have. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it, man. I don't come on many channels, but I like what you're doing, man. I like your videos and stuff, so I definitely support that, man.
My G. Well, if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Lias. I am the host of Whole Lot of Mid, and we talk about all things football. But today, we're going to be previewing the biggest match possibly of the season so far, and that's Liverpool versus Manchester United. Me and Cam are both Manchester United fans, of course. My plan was to kind of just get into the game, but we had some breaking news this morning that I really wanted to touch on first. Wayne Rooney announcing his retirement from professional football, and yeah, this is someone that for me, I'm sure for you, of course, kind of marked our childhoods, right? A legend of Manchester United, a legend of England, a legend of the Premier League, and let's kind of give him a tribute that he deserves as a Premier League legend.
Yeah, man. Like honestly, when I think about football from when first started watching it, I started watching it from when Rooney was at Everton. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? From when Rooney was at Everton, and then he was that guy that you just looked at and it was like, obviously you heard his age. He was like, I think he was like the same age as my brother or something. I can't even really remember. Like, but it was just always like, wow, like look at this guy right now doing these things. Like it's unheard of at that age. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And so I always liked him when he was at Everton. I liked him, and then obviously when he was linked to Man United, it just became like a kind of like a fantasy, bro. And then I just remember his debut, the Fenerbahce hat trick,
of
and then
course.
like honestly, bro, the first thing I did, I jumped on Pro Evo. I had Pro Evo, like I think it was like what would it have been? Pro Evo
Probably
4, maybe
2005,
5?
2004.
Yeah.
Yeah,
First thing I did, I just went on there, made all his stats 99, bro. I was like, vroom, vroom, vroom.
that's jokes, yo.
All his stats 99. Just started trying to score bare goals of him, and yeah, man. Honestly, like when I think about childhood heroes, like childhood favorites, Rooney's right up there, man. Like just ridiculous, man. Honestly, now I've actually met Rooney one time in the most weird situation of my life. Honestly, like, do you know what happened? Yeah. So, just a quick
Yeah,
one. So basically, I was at Man United. So this is when Ferguson exiled him from the team. This is when he wanted to leave in 2013, right?
yeah,
And I won some, I don't know how, but I won some like tickets to Old Trafford through some SIM cards, through some Nigerian SIM card thing, yeah. So I ended
yeah,
up getting to be in like the boxes and stuff, right? So I met like loads of United legends. Like there was loads of like Brian Robson. There was loads of legends just at the club at the point at that in that VIP area, and
yeah.
that was actually where Rooney and Colleen's box was. So I could see Rooney's body and stuff like the whole time. And then finally, I must have gone to the toilet now. I went to the toilet into like the VIP area, and then I come out of the cubicle, and Wayne Rooney's just doing a piss
I'm
with
dead.
Rooney and his son are doing a piss. Yeah, I've never had stage fright at meeting a celebrity before, but I was shook. I was like, I didn't even say nothing. I was like, you right, Wayne? I was just like, you right, Wayne? Bro, I didn't even ask for a picture.
Weak.
Nothing, man. I was just got stage fright, bro. But yeah, man, that was the only time I met. But he said you're right and blah blah blah. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he was with his son. We're in a toilet. You can't really do the
This is the
most. So I
worst
just
place to ask for a picture, right?
worst place, man. So I just left it, bro. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
man, goat, man, goat.
Go, man, for sure. And like you talk about United legends, you got Ronaldo, Cantona, but like I feel like Wayne Rooney kind of symbolizes Manchester United in a way. Like when you kind of look at Cristiano Ronaldo, right? Like he's so untouchable. Like no one can ever dream of being Cristiano Ronaldo. But
Yeah.
Wayne Rooney, right? Like balding, kind of like overweight. He's got the boyish features. Like I feel like fans can kind of relate to that guy. And like
Yeah.
you said, man, he kind of just defined a childhood for a lot of Manchester United fans. And for that, we say
Honestly, man.
thank you. Enjoy retirement.
Criminally underrated throughout his career as well, man. And hopefully
Yeah.
now he finally gets his flowers, man. Like the ultimate, for me, it's just an ultimate player. We can talk about Aguero's, Van Persie's, all these, but they can't. For me, they just can't do the whole package like Wayne Rooney. Do you know what I
Yeah, no
mean? And
doubt.
just yeah, man. What a guy, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, that's kind of our little tribute on Wayne Rooney, but let's get into today this weekend's game. Uh, you're famous for one thing right now. One thing.
Yeah.
First place, Manchester United goes to Anfield on Sunday to play second place and reigning Premier League champions Liverpool.
Hmm.
And the reason I kind of know that fans are starting to really start to believe that this is a title race is you kind of look on social media, and not just Man United fans, but it's
Hmm.
it's the rivals, the rivals' reaction that I'm really getting a grasp of how serious this is, because I feel like we're kind of getting that rivalry back, man. Like Liverpool fans are trying to bring back history, say this was legitimate, this wasn't legitimate. Is this
Mm,
title race a fugazi? I mean, what
mm.
do you think about all of it?
You know what? Yeah, with this United title race, right?
Yeah,
It's a hard one to really put your finger on because from the start of the season, I was saying this is a weird season, right?
yeah,
So I started this season with like, it's funny because everyone sees me doing the "we move in silence" thing, but I started this season calling it "believe season," yeah, because I
yeah,
was like, we could do it this year, you know? I was like, maybe we could do something, but then the like result where we got knocked out of the Champions League and stuff happened, and I was like, oh, same old. We're not doing shit. You know what I'm trying to say? So I
yeah.
was from there. I was like, yeah, look, Ollie out. We're not doing nothing. Let's just get rid of it. Let's just, yeah, I mean, let's just wipe the season away, cut our losses, and we go again next year. But then
Definitely.
slowly and slowly, obviously, fair play to Ollie, it's picked up. We're doing our thing, and I'm just now it's just kind of like, yeah, we move in silence because at the end of the day, no one thinks we're going to win the league. No one thinks we're going to win the league. City fans are laughing at us. Liverpool fans are laughing at us. They're all arrogant. They're all smug. So yeah, we'll move in silence. You know what I mean? We'll continue going up the league. And listen, if we beat Liverpool, then I can say maybe the fans can start believing that we're in the race. Because at the moment, what I think is people think we're lucky to be there.
Yeah,
I don't think people necessarily think we're going to win it, but I still think people don't think we're actually even in the race. But if we beat Liverpool, we are in the race. Now, if we're going to win it, that's different. But we
yeah.
are in the race if we beat Liverpool, man,
No doubt, no
definitely.
doubt. I mean, we go 6 points ahead of them if we win this Sunday. And already the fact that we're 3 points going into Anfield, I feel like that's just such a huge mental boost. Like I was saying that Burnley game, right? This is the thing I've been saying throughout this kind of run that we're on. You can't win the league in January, but you can definitely lose it. And we have put ourselves in a good situation now, beating Burnley, beating Villa, beating Wolves the way we did. I don't think we particularly played very well in any of those games, but the fact that we got the 3 points, some of them were last gasp winners, last 10-minute winners. Like those are games that as champions you have to win. And now we come to
Hmm.
Anfield, a ground that nobody wins on ever, right? Like,
Nope.
and this is another thing, right? The pressure's all on Liverpool, realistically, because they're
Yeah.
the team that's in really poor form right now. They're the Premier League champions reigning, and this is their ground that no one comes to. So we kind of go into this game with like, yeah, we are first place. Our fans, of course, want to see us win, but all the pressure is really on Liverpool, right?
Hmm. Yeah, man. And the thing is, like, Liverpool last season, let's be honest, they walked away with the league.
Yeah,
They didn't have a game like this last season. There was no game last season that it was like, hold on, people are doubting us. Can we do this? Is there any doubt in our mind? No way. Liverpool were walking through everyone. So this
yeah,
is a new experience for them right now as well. Like at the end of the day, it's a what's the word? Obviously it's a massive game. Wait, first and foremost, United Liverpool is always a massive game.
no doubt.
But now there's extra pressure. There's no fans. There's no that Anfield roar. Blah blah blah. It's something. And I'm looking at the way the Man United players are speaking, and they believe. They believe more than the
Yeah,
fans. The
yeah,
United players think they're going to win the league. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And now that they got that mentality, let's see if they can live up to it. But I definitely think that it's a game that Liverpool, of course, as you said, have more pressure on them. 100%. They got more
Yeah.
pressure on them. And if we do beat them, Liverpool's season could spiral. I reckon it could really like it will be very interesting to see what happens because I'm seeing the Liverpool Twitter account tweeting United game in a week. Like when did they ever do that?
Right, exactly.
Klopp talking about us, all their legends talking about us, and I'm like, when you guys didn't care about, yeah, you guys didn't care about us last season, and it's gonna be interesting. The only thing is Anfield, what is that, 60 something games unbeaten, maybe, or maybe they're
Anfield
approaching
just
the
in
60.
general, right? Anfield just in general, even when we were at the top and Liverpool were at the bottom, that's a ground that we have struggled massively. I mean, on the topic of
Yeah,
Wayne Rooney, that's a ground that he often didn't score on, right? Like
yeah,
Liverpool has always been a tough game, no matter who's on top and
Yeah,
who's languishing in seventh place. So this is just even tougher. But
yeah.
like you're
It's gonna
saying,
be
man, like,
crazy.
yeah, no, no doubt.
It's gonna be, yeah, man. Pogba. I think Pogba said that he's never even won a match against Liverpool.
He doesn't often play against Liverpool
Yeah,
if
he
you
doesn't
really
often
think
play
about
in
it.
it.
Yeah, he gets injured a lot before those games. But
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
we'll
gonna.
move on.
It's you go on.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say we'll
Yeah,
move on
man.
to the subject of Pogba in a bit, just because
Mm,
we'll talk about kind of the tactics, how both teams really have to set up for a game of this magnitude. But like you're saying, all the pressure is on Liverpool. But as United fans, right? Like I think this is the first time I really go into a game at Anfield in recent history, like feeling really, really confident. Like under Mourinho, under even Van Gaal, we won that game 1-0 of Wayne Rooney in 2015-16. Like I wasn't feeling confident to go play Jurgen Klopp's team at Anfield. And now like
mm.
the momentum in the fan base, the way Ollie's talking it up, the way the players, like you said, are talking it up, I feel pretty confident now that we can go, and even if we don't get a win, we can go head to head against these guys.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be an easy game. That's for sure. I know that it's not gonna be an easy game for either team, even if Liverpool were to win. But as I said, like we're in a position where it's like we kind of got nothing to lose. People don't think, as I said, people don't think we're gonna be there. We're 3 points clear of them already. So if we were
Yeah.
to lose, at the end of the day, not in a negative mentality, but we're still joint points. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
My mentality is don't lose.
Yeah,
Win, cool, draw, whatever. Do not lose.
I
Don't
agree with
lose
that.
that match. That if we don't lose that match, then I'm confident. But if we go out there, and Liverpool give us like a 3-1 or something, then it's just like
Yeah,
same old United. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? So
No,
it's going
like
to be a big test of character. They passed the character test against Burnley because I said it's going to be a character test because you look at our players. None of them have been in this position at Man United, first of
yep.
all, and a lot of them haven't even been in that position career-wise. Rashford, Martial, like, who else? Them,
Wan-Bissaka, Shaw.
Wan-Bissaka, but all of them, man, haven't really been in a title race before.
Yep.
So the majority of our team haven't. Yeah, you got the De Gea's who's won it, Matic, Pogba, probably
Cavani, yeah.
Van de Beek, probably Cavani. Some of them, probably I say like 7 of them. But it's a 22, 23 man squad. A lot of our players, even in the camp, players that are not playing, they haven't been involved in situations like
Yep.
this. So it's a big character test for them, and they passed a little test against Burnley. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep. I think this is really where you have to give credit to Ollie. Like I'm just like you, right? Like few right after the Leipzig game, like I was screaming Ollie out into my camera, man. Like that was the motto. But if we are gonna give him credit, I think Ollie has done a really good job of building this very stable mentality at United right now. It's never too high and it's never too low. I think he's done a really good job of making sure everyone is aware of what situation we're in. Like you said, I think everyone believes we're in a title race in that camp,
Mm,
but no one is letting their emotions get the better of them. We're going into these games and honestly managing them quite well. Like against Burnley, for example, that's a game maybe last year they're frustrating us. They're obviously tough in the air. Like I thought we managed this game very well. Burnley
yeah.
barely got a sniff of the ball in the second half, and I thought, like I said, it's like you said, character. Character is the
Mhm.
key word here. And yeah, we don't have a lot of players who have been in these tight, like right
Mhm.
to the death title races, like we're anticipating this one to be. But
Mm.
players at this time, players like Rashford and Martial, they may be young, but they have a lot of experience in them, and they've tasted
Mm.
failure a lot of times. So I think that's kind of shaped them into the players they are today, and
Yeah.
it's only going to bode well for us.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, you don't get experience without living through it. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
at once upon a time, Liverpool players hadn't won a title, and now we're looking at them like, yeah, the shrewd operators. Yeah, I mean they're champions. They had to get through that hump. They
yep,
lost the title by 1 point. At a point, they lost it by 1 point to the team of City who's been there, done that.
yep,
Yeah, I mean, so they had their moment. They overcome it, won the league now, so now they're champions. But once upon a time, they hadn't had it. Salah wasn't a winner. Mane wasn't a winner. Firmino wasn't a winner.
yep,
Henderson wasn't a winner. I can go through their whole squad. Van
yeah,
Dijk wasn't even a
yeah,
winner. None of them. So at one point they had to get over that hump, and then you start to look at them as, yeah, top players, top mentality. So we need to get over that. And even as I said before, even if we didn't win the title, make it a race.
yeah,
Lose the
yeah,
title. Oh, we lost the title by 6 points. Okay, 7 points. All right, we were close. Next season, we're coming back. Don't go and lose the title by 16, 17 points. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yep,
nah. So everything about this season is about building and building. This Man United team are not even ready, bro. I'm saying it. It's because in my opinion, I'm gonna be consistent. I said it last year.
Yep.
It's we got COVID. Like Liverpool won the league basically before COVID. Let's be real. But
Yep.
it's a COVID season, man. Anything can happen. You're looking at Spain. Atletico Madrid are running the title. They're gonna run away with it. You look at Man United. We're here for because we got good players, of course. But I
Yeah.
still think the COVID situation is helping us out. When our team's not complete at all, there's loads of gaps in our team, in my opinion. But we're fortunate that it's a COVID season, in my opinion.
And I want to just build off that, you saying like this isn't even like the best United. I don't even think like of course there are notable gaps in this team that we need to fill in the next transfer window, right? Defensive midfield for me, I've vouched off this so many times. I think we need a real rock in the midfield that isn't McTominay or Fred, because as good as they can be, they have their limitations. Right wing, I've said it a million times. But I'm looking at this United current team that we have right now. We haven't even seen the best version of a lot of these players this year. For example, Martial, uh, he has 2 goals in 18 games.
Let me
We're
not
first,
see. If I see Commercial, I'll say I have an agenda, bro. I'm
bro. We're the
telling you
same
now,
way,
bro.
yo. Trust me, we're the
Like,
same way. I'm not a huge Martial fan either, but I can recognize what he did in lockdown last year. Like I made a video after the Liverpool game last year, in fact, when he missed that huge chance, and I kind of went off on him. I was like, "Is this the number 9 that can really lead United in a title challenge?" And he proved me wrong in lockdown. I mean,
hmm
post lockdown, I thought he was terrific. And now we go into this season, and it's kind of like the same bad habits are approaching this game. His
yeah,
finishing, which at one point was his best attribute, has
bad
completely
job, yeah.
deserted him.
hmm
And yeah, but we're looking at a United team right now who has a striker who doesn't score. With Pogba, we were only really seeing the best Pogba right now. For most of the
hmm
season, he hasn't been there, or he has been like the beginning of the season, he was just like overweight. COVID
hmm
hit him, like it wasn't great. So I think this isn't the best Manchester United team we can see yet. They're only going to get better as the season goes on. Like the fact that we're winning these games, not even playing that great, and other than Bruno and
Yeah,
Rashford, none of our attacking players are really shining. I think that bodes well for us. Like it's only going to get better.
yeah. That's the thing, though. That's the thing. That's why we need to be picking up these type of points now. First of all, we need to break that top six stuck that we ain't won it against the top six team.
Yeah,
Have
no doubt, no
have to
doubt.
have to break that now. Like it's
Yeah,
getting ridiculous. So, but that's why it's like what you're saying is what I've said as well. It's like that's the positives that we can lean back on, but we don't want it to be a situation. Look, I said if Man United don't win this title or we get blown out of this title and Martial continues this form, I'm blaming him. I don't care what no one says to me. Like, don't talk to me about Ollie. Like
yeah,
that our striker didn't. Yeah, I mean, like that's how I am. Like, but when I look at it, it's like, how long are we gonna have to wait for these guys to turn up? Because yes, Pogba has come at the right moment. January and December is where you want to win games. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
Pogba came through this Christmas period and stuff. That's the most important time he's come through, and I think he's gonna have a good season now. Martial needs to get over it. Cavani, he doesn't. He's not good when he starts games. You need to adapt to English football
yeah,
quickly.
yeah,
Greenwood, mate, are you gonna participate this season or not? Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Van der Beek hasn't even scratched the surface. Bailly's just come in. So what you're saying, I agree with you fully, but is this gonna be how we are for the whole season, or are they actually gonna come through? We don't know. We
yeah.
actually
That,
don't know because
yeah,
when I'm looking at Martial, I'm looking at it like I don't know if you're gonna turn up. I don't know, bro. Like honestly,
yeah,
I'm looking at it like he's a good player and I appreciate what he brings to the team. He still has to start. I'm not like bench him. He has to start at this point.
yeah.
He has to. We ain't got
I
much
agree with that.
options,
Yeah.
but he needs to start scoring, man. When United are not winning a title with our striker scoring under 10 goals in the league, bro. Like, come on, man.
I definitely agree with that, and like that's a good point, right? Like you say, yeah, they can get better, but will they? And that's fair, right? Because with Martial, we have one like period of really top form from him, right? Lockdown
hmm
last year, and other than that, there's nothing really to suggest that he's going to burst out and like score 15 goals in 10 games or anything. There's nothing to suggest that's
No.
consistent. So I agree with that there. As for the others, yeah, that's another great point. Van de Beek hasn't scratched the surface whatsoever, and I'd like to hear your opinion on that too, because I'm a big Donny Van de Beek fan. Like I was a fan at
hmm
Ajax. I was excited when we got him. I didn't think it was a priority that we got him, but I was happy that we did get him. He's a good player, but
Mm.
I think I hear the criticism that a lot of fans say, "Oh, Aldi hasn't used him right. When he plays, it's with the reserves. Like the style of play doesn't really suit him." But at the same time, too, like when you watch games and you kind of look at individuals, I don't think he does enough to stake a claim in this team. and like I don't think he gives the manager many selection issues, right? Like I don't think
Hmm.
he really makes his claim that heard.
Yeah, look, with this Van der Beek situation, yeah, for me it's like, okay, when I do see him play, I
Yeah,
think he's a bit too safe.
yeah,
I like retention, I do. We need retention in our team, but it's too safe for me. I've seen him ignore about three, four passes you can make. I'm not saying turn into Bruno Fernandes,
yeah,
but come on, let's be a bit more safe. I get the 1-2 little thing, but sometimes for me it's too safe. I don't think he's when he plays, he does well. I'll put that out there. But at the moment, what the issue is, we don't have a defensive midfielder. And
no,
of everyone that's suffering the most out of that, it's him. Because we don't have a defensive midfielder. So we have to play McTom and Fred. As a Them two are one defensive midfielder combined. That's
yeah,
basically what it is. They're like a
yeah,
duo for
yeah,
one mid. Yeah, I mean, so they are always gonna play. They're not gonna play singularly. They're gonna play
no,
together. So he's gonna be the one that has to fall out for that. Because if we were playing, let's say we had a, let's say we had a proper defensive midfielder. Let's just say it was Basuma. Let's just say. So if we had like a Basuma in there, then Van der Beek will be able to get more minutes because it'll be Pogba and Bruno ahead of him. And then
yep,
one of them will come off for Van der Beek. It's as simple as that. But
yep,
now it's a situation where we ain't got a DM. So if you got Fred playing, McTom has to play. And if McTom's gonna come off, then we're gonna have to put Matic on or something. It's
yep,
we haven't got one specific DM at the moment, and he's the
right,
one that's probably losing out on that the most. And you look at the lineup, for example, that we might play against Liverpool. Everyone's talking about, oh, Pogba has to play maybe on the left. That's
yeah,
again because we haven't got a defensive midfielder. Because if we did, then Pogba will just play in centre midfield with Bruno. But now we're looking
yep,
at it like, can he? This defensive midfielder issue is what is really causing us the trouble. And I just think Van der Beek is a good player, but I think people are panicking a little bit too much at the end of the day. We're top of the league for a reason.
yep.
He's gonna have to wait. He's just gonna have to wait his time.
I agree. Yeah,
You look at Cancelo. Look how he's balling out of his mind at the moment.
it's a good
You look at
example.
some players. Cancelo was played last season, but it was in bit parts. I think
And
he
he
played like
wasn't that
40
good, to
games
be
or
honest
something.
with you.
Ex-
He wasn't anything special.
exactly. And we talk about players need time to settle. We talk about players just being integrated in the squad properly. People are going on like this is Van der Beek's last season or something. Like
Yeah.
if it doesn't work out now, he's gone. We gotta be patient. He's just gotta pick his moments, man. Like it's a long season. He's still gonna have a say in things, and I think he's gonna have a big say in our Europa League if we have a Europa League run. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. No, honestly, spot on. The Cancelo point is really good. Like the Premier League is a tough league to adjust to, and I think especially coming from Holland, that's the toughest adjustment to make. Like you've seen so many players who succeeded like a lot there. They come to the Premier League, and the adaptation is just it's tough, right? Like it's a much quicker league, it's a much more athletic league, and especially the way United plays, I think you got it spot on, right? With the defensive midfielders, I think Ollie kind of has a headache here because he has a lot of different profiles that do a lot of different things, but none of them excel at numerous things. Oh, some of them excel at numerous things, but they all have like one glaring weakness. So
Yeah.
with McTominay, right? Like he's energy, he brings you defensive solidity most of the time, but he can't pass a ball for his
Yeah.
Matic, great passer of the ball, right? Terrifically technical player, but he's so heavy these days. Like you can't rely on him as like the sole defensive midfielder anymore. We saw that at the beginning of the season. Fred, great energy. I think he's been playing out of his mind recently, but again, like defensively, sometimes he can kind of get bullied. I think, and also on the ball, I think he's way too frantic when he gets it. I think he's too quick to get rid of it. And you have Pogba, right, who's obviously the best out of all of them, but I don't think Ollie trusts him as a defensive player in that setup because the
Hmm.
way, like you're saying, Ollie plays his two holding midfielders, it's kind of to shield the back four that he has. Maguire and Lindelof or Bailly, like they are suspect of being hit outnumbered. So when you have Fred and McTominay, I think it gives them the right shield for them when you don't have
Yeah.
that with Pogba and McTominay. And we'll talk about that kind of more as we now go into today's or Sunday's game, Liverpool
Hmm.
versus United. We are expecting to see Fred and McTominay play.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like they play these games. These are the games they play. I
Yeah,
seen wait, just quickly, I'm seeing someone in the comments say, is this live? This is live. I don't know
this
why
is
they
live.
think that.
Welcome.
I don't know. It's I can see because basically I got like the YouTube open on the other side as well.
Got you.
Yeah, so what I was gonna say anyway, yeah, so when you look at it, right, they always play these type of games, but in a way I'm thinking you can take it to Liverpool. Do they have to play this game? Do both of them have to play this game? I don't know, because when you look at it, Pogba off the left, yeah, is he gonna? I know Trent isn't really an overlapper. He's kind of like he deep crosses, like doesn't really get like to the in the box and cross the ball. So Pogba's not gonna have to do so much tracking,
Yeah.
but he is gonna have to do a lot of defensive work because they do spread it out wide to their fullbacks. Is he gonna be up for that task? I don't 100% know. One thing I would say, he was good at it against Cancelo. He did do it well in against City on the left hand side in terms of like defensively, but it's a tough one, bro. It's a very tough one. Like I don't know, man, because I've been like thinking about it for ages, and I tweeted like, does McTom? I mean, I tweeted Ollie has such big decisions to make.
Yeah.
Does he play Matic just off the man of match performances? 12 recoveries in the game, and Pogba made what 8, so combined 20 recoveries between them.
Yeah.
Does he go with what we just did against Burnley? Does he go with Fred and McTominay, the kind of trusted? But let's be real. In the big games, it hasn't worked this season. Now we
I
haven't won
think
a big game.
yeah. I want to touch on that, right? Like I definitely there's something striking about that statistic because last year it was the complete opposite, right? We were excellent in the big games and we were really poor in the small games. And I think my theory for why that is because Ollie is kind of trapped in finding a balance between the system that won him those big games last year and being an attacking manager. Because at the end of the day, we won those games last year, but you're saying now, like, as most United fans are saying, we don't want to go to Anfield now and park 10 men behind the bus. Like that's how we won those games last year. This year, we don't want to see it. Like, we want to progress. We want to win games playing more offensively. And I think that's really the biggest issue Ollie is finding because if he plays Matic and Pogba and we go to dominate the ball more and we want to play a more open-ended style, our defense is so suspect that it leaves us open. Like the way I kind of see us, the way we play is kind of like a 4-2-4. I don't know if you see it the same way, but it's like Pogba on the left, Rashford on the right, Martial up front, and Bruno plays so high that it's practically as another forward. All right, so
Yeah.
it kind of exposes like we kind of play with two midfielders in there, and if like that allows us to be playing our best players, Pogba, Rashford, Martial, and Bruno, while allowing us to be defensive. But at the same time, when you have two midfielders in Fred and McTominay that can't really pass a ball, can't really keep the ball, like that's kind of the sacrifice that we do make. So I'm anticipating that we do play that system at Anfield, but
Yeah.
like you're
But with
saying, like
Pogba
it
on the
has its
left.
drawbacks. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm convinced, but the point you brought up about will he be able to follow Trent Alexander-Arnold's runs? Because for me, Liverpool, they attack in two ways, right?
Hmm.
They're not going to, Jordan Henderson, and not in a million years is going to play a through ball. He's not going to
Hmm.
play a penetrating ball at the Mo Salah. It's not going to happen.
Hmm.
The two ways they attack is either Salah or Mane or Firmino, they kind of that interchanging play between them, or you're seeing attacks from their fullbacks. Their fullbacks bomb forward and they send in 50 crosses a game.
Yeah.
The way United got success from Liverpool last year, if you remember, and even the game that they lost, like the goals came from a corner and a counterattack right at the
Long
end.
ball and then the
Right? The
last
way
minute. Yeah.
United stopped Liverpool from really hurting them is they played 5 in the back. They played 2 wing backs that basically stopped everything that Robertson and Trent Alexander threw at you.
Hmm.
But if we're playing 4 in the back, that means that we need to rely on the likes of Rashford and Pogba tracking back. And neither of those guys are guys that I want to see defending because, quite frankly, they're not very good at it.
But the difference is now Liverpool in those games, if I'm not mistaken, probably had Gomez and Van Dijk, right?
Yeah.
And what are they? Absolute athleticism centre halves
Yeah.
who can recover, who can defend the width of the pitch, who can Van Dijk can comfortably run into a right back area or a left
Yeah.
back area, and so can Gomez. They can both do that. Like you get some. You don't want to see Maguire defending out the width. You don't want to see that. But you
Yeah.
don't mind seeing Eric Bailly out there. You don't mind
Yeah.
seeing, the athletic defenders, right?
Yeah.
So that gives these guys the base for if Trent goes forward, if Robertson can continuously bombing on and doing what they do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now they haven't got that insurance. So in the same way, Robinson has been moving really good this season. But the same way, Trent is having a mare this season, by the way.
Yeah.
He's
I
having
agree.
and that could be linked to the loss of the centre halves because now people are attacking Trent a bit more. He hasn't got a much cover. You're starting to see him defensively a bit weaker. Offensively, he's not as good, but defensively, he's never been a great defender. But this season is looking even worse,
Yeah.
and that's because he hasn't got them type of guys behind him at the moment. So we should be looking at it as I don't want to see a 5. I
Yeah.
don't
No.
want to
No.
look at Liverpool and think let's stop Trent and Robert. I want to look at it and think, how are we going to expose that three of Trent, Reese Williams, and Fabinho or something? I don't
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah.
Robertson, he's Robertson. He's going to do his thing.
Yeah.
He's a very
He's
good
quality,
player.
man.
Fabinho's good, but at the same time, he's good centre half. He's not a good like leader. He's not Van Dijk. He's not a great leader. I troll them all the
No.
time, like, oh, Fabinho's doing better than Van Dijk, but I'm just trolling. But he's not like a he's not like a leader like them. So we need to exploit that. Like if you give Fabinho an uncomfortable evening, he's gonna be thinking in his head, I'm not a centre back. This is bullshit. Do you know what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say? I don't want to be
Yeah.
doing this. That's how we should be. That's how we should be looking at it. That's what I'm saying. Liverpool are slightly there for the taking. The only difference is now they've got the insurance of possession. Probably if they play Thiago, yeah, I mean, he's got.
Yeah. No
I
doubt.
think we're gonna. I think honestly, I think we're gonna make him look like a world beater. We're gonna let them have the ball. He's gonna look like, whew, like you know how he is, aesthetic,
Yeah. He's quality,
passing it.
man.
He's
Yeah.
gonna be doing all that, and we're gonna be thinking, oh my god, what a world beater. But it's just about do not let that front three get any joy. It's just them. That
Yeah.
Salah, Mane, and Firmino. Firmino in the big games
He's
kind
quality,
of
man.
goes under the radar. Like everyone's thinking about Salah and Mane, but then Firmino is the one that was scored the winner. Like so, just need to quiet down that front three, and I think we're pretty good at doing that. Liverpool's front three, if I recall, they haven't. Salah only got his first goal against us recently, and that was the last second goal. Mane, I think he scored against us before, but they don't really destroy us that front three. So it's really about just slowing them down. I'm not really that scared of Liverpool. That's the thing. The only thing is just it's just the Anfield. It's just the Anfield thing, man. It's just the Anfield thing. That's all it is
Yeah,
for me.
it's that psychological thing.
Mhm.
That's there's a lot of good points in that. I mean, first of all, the Trent Alexander-Arnold point, right? Like the reason I want to add to that, the reason I feel like also he's struggling as of late the most is because you're talking about the center backs, they protect him, but I think Jordan Henderson on that right hand side really protects him. Like when he bombs forward, Henderson is there to like kind of to back him up.
Mhm.
But we've seen recently Henderson is playing center back, and instead
Mm.
you're putting Curtis Jones there, who I think he's a good club player, but he doesn't do the same role that Jordan Henderson does
Not in
half as well.
38 games. He shouldn't be playing every single game. He's
Nah,
a
he has his
good
limitations.
talent. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Like I said,
every
he's a
single
good
game.
club player, right? Like he's a player that club can put in that midfield, industrious, works hard, does a job. As for the point now that you're saying, like, I don't want to see them play a five in the back. I said a few weeks ago, there's three things that United can do that can make them win the title. I'm not going to say they're going to win the title, but three things that'll help them. One of them was signing a defensive midfielder. We talked about that. We're on the same page there. They need, for me, a real rock in there that can do the defensive job that McTominay does, but also has a really good passing range. I don't think we have anyone
Mhm.
in that position. I think we need that. The second thing I said is we need more goals from different areas of the pitch outside of Rashford and Bruno. We already touched on that. Martial has to step his game up. Greenwood and Cavani have to find some form. And Pogba, I think Pogba has shown over the last few years he's one of Europe's best goal scoring midfielders. He has to get back to that. And we've seen that
Mhm.
in recent weeks. The third thing that United has to do or has to stop doing, honestly, is Ollie has to stop going into these big games trying to be the pragmatist. I think we've found a winning solution right now, right? Like this set the style that we're playing, this possession first, this playing our best players in their best positions. I think that's working for us. And this year I've seen so many big games, Ollie kind of throws it away. And for me,
Mhm.
the number one case of that was Leipzig, right? We had something going. The game before was against West Ham. The second half was tremendous against West Ham. And then the game right after Leipzig, Ollie goes and he plays five in the back and he plays Matic and he plays McTominay and it's the shit show. We have to stop doing that in these big games. Ollie has
Mhm.
to trust the game plan that's found him so much success and kind of stick to that. Like we don't want to go, like you're saying, we're probably gonna make Thiago look like a god. We have to stop going to these big grounds and kind of giving so much respect to these big teams.
Mhm. No, I fully agree with that, man. And that's what happens when like if you're naturally a pragmatic manager. I'm not saying
Yeah,
Ollie's like expansive, like amazing football, but if
yeah,
you're naturally a pragmatic manager, then that's fine. Jose Mourinho loves these type of games. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
this is his bread and butter. This is what the players know. You can't be playing one style and then be like, okay, by the way, guys, this is what we're gonna do for this game, especially when you're not at the top level manager like Ollie. Whereas it works with Sir Alex Ferguson because he's Alex Ferguson. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
can play 1 week, we're going to try and beat someone 5-0. Next week, we got Park Ji-sung, Darren Fletcher, and Carrick midfield three. Like, we could do that under Fergie because that one, also, we had devastating front three. Tevez, Rooney, Ronaldo.
Yeah.
You can do that. We ain't
Yeah.
got that no more. Do you know what I mean? So you can't just switch that 1 week we're going to do this and in this week we're going to do this. No, you need that continuity. And the best example of continuity that's showing in our team at the moment is by Maguire. Look what's happening with just a bit of continuity.
Yep.
Our best out for me, they're our best two centre halves. Lindelof is not better. I don't whatever people say about Maguire, he's not better than Maguire. I don't care. So
I'm spot on, bro. Keep going.
yes, so you got like Maguire and Bailly, for example. Maguire and Bailly, Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka. That's the only continuity that you kind of know at the moment, and that's the only place in our team where I'm looking at and thinking I'm seeing a little bit of an improvement. I'm seeing an understanding going on there. Do you
No
know what I
doubt.
mean? And that's what we need in our team. Every week, I want to know. Look, I could, with my eyes closed, if Liverpool had their fit team, with my eyes closed, I can say they're starting 11.
Yep.
If City had their fit team, with my
You
eyes
know they're
closed, I can
starting
say
11.
they're starting 11.
Yeah.
But I can't say Chelsea's.
Definitely
Can't
not.
say Arsenal's.
I think we're
Can't say
getting there.
Spurs. I
Yeah.
can't say United's at the moment. And look, we're the teams that are trying to. We're no
Yeah.
surprise that we're the teams that are not at that level.
No
Do
doubt.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. In a game like this, don't just down tools, man. Like, let's see what Liverpool are on in the first 20, 25 minutes. Okay, if it's not working, change it. But Ollie likes to just go too negative, and then eventually, boom, we end up losing the game or just drawing like a boring 0-0 or whatever it's been like.
It
So,
happens every time, man. It happens every time.
mhm,
I mean, I agree with you. And it's not just being the United fan who like, oh, standards are high, like we go into every game attacking. Like it's just like for me, the biggest thing about United is that our best form of attack is defense. We don't have a great back line. So for me, being a pragmatist, it doesn't make sense because if you give up the ball, you're relying on guys like Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire at times, Fred McTominay. You're relying on them to be solid for 90 minutes. And you've seen time after time, these guys can't really be trusted to keep a firm back line. So for me, to be a pragmatist in these games against the likes of Salah, De Bruyne, Mane, like that's suicide, right? That's coaching suicide. So I think United's best form of defense is attack. We have strong attackers. That's the best style of United play is going out and attacking. So for me, that's how United have to kind of approach this game Sunday. That's my take on it.
No, bro, I agree with that. I don't want to see Dan James. I
Hell
don't
no,
want to
nah.
see all of that shit. You know what I mean? That's what he likes to do. He thinks that Dan James is his wild card or something. It's not, bro. You know what I mean?
Nah,
It's not. It's not. I don't want to see Dan James. I don't want to see none of that. Like, as you said, play our best players and we can potentially win this game. Alex Ferguson always said, if you can get through the first 25 minutes of Anfield, you've got a chance.
Yeah,
You've got a
because
chance.
that's when the
So,
fans are the loudest. Right?
yeah, of course the fans ain't there now, so it's different. But same way, Liverpool are gonna come out and think, "What? You guys are pretenders, man. We're gonna put it on you." That's how they're gonna come out. So if we can survive the first 20, 25 minutes, then I want to see us play and go. I don't want to see us. Why for the remainder of the half for the next 60 minutes we're defending? No.
Yeah.
First 25, you know what I mean? First 20, 25. They can't break us down. We've seen what they're going to do. Trent is going to throw in loads. Maguire is going to head away loads, whatever. Go from there. That's what I think anyway, man. Like, I'm not actually, honestly, I'm not fearing, like, if this game was being played at a neutral ground, I'd say, oh, United are winning, by the way. It's
I would
just
too.
something about Anfield, and obviously we're terrible at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
We're terrible at Old Trafford, so I can't say that. But
Yeah.
something about Anfield, it's just making me think.
It pains me
Can't
to
be
say
too
it too,
confident.
It pains me to say it to give them any credit, but yo, that ground is literally like it's what Old Trafford used to be, yo. Like Old Trafford used to be like a coliseum. Like teams don't come to Old Trafford and get shit, like let alone a win. You guys don't get draws. That season 10-11, we won every single game at Old Trafford except one against West Brom. Like we used to never lose there. And now that's what Liverpool is making this Anfield. Like forget about fans. Like it's just the psychological edge they have when teams go in there. Like you go into the Anfield locker room, like you're scared shitless.
It's like 60 games or something.
I can't remember the last time they lost a game. I think I read a stat the other day that in the Premier League, Sadio Mane's never lost at Anfield. I think I read something like that. Like it's crazy. But something's got to change this weekend.
Mhm.
But let's talk about Liverpool a little, right? Like we talked about United, what they have to do to win this game, in our
Mm.
opinions. Liverpool are on a really bad slump right now, right? Like the last three games, they've kind of been figured out, and like people are trying to say, "Oh, it's on Van Dijk." Like we don't have our starting center back pairing, but you didn't have Van Dijk all season, and you won 7-0 against Crystal Palace. So I don't think it's
Yeah.
that. I think it's teams have kind of figured out, maybe not figured out, but they're catching on to how Liverpool loves to attack through their fullbacks, and they're kind of stopping Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson. They're kind of stopping them in their tracks to not let them get into those areas that they love to whip those dangerous balls into. And now I think that aura of invincibility that Liverpool players had for so long is kind of fainting, right? Like
Mhm.
it's kind of going away. And now they go into this game like they need the win, like I said. So as a United fan, what do you think Liverpool has to do differently to kind of stop this United team?
Um, to think, the thing is, if Liverpool play to the best of their ability,
Yeah,
they should win.
no doubt.
That,
They're
that's
the better
that's how
team.
it should. If they play to the best of their ability with Jurgen Klopp, they should win. It's just
Yeah,
about hoping that they don't. But my thing for Liverpool, right, is what it is obviously Trent is not having a great season. I don't know how
yeah,
many assists Robbo's had, but before it was like these guys are putting up dumb numbers, attacking fullbacks, all this madness, and
yeah,
Sadio Mane and Salah were eating off it. They can just basically be like inside forwards, like poachers, basically. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? But
yeah,
now what's happening is that I don't know, like I don't have like a map of average positions or anything, yeah. But
yeah,
I'm seeing Mane's getting the ball to feet more. I'm seeing Salah's getting the ball to feet more.
yeah.
I'm so comfortable, honestly, with Mane and Salah having the ball to feet. They're not gonna do a Hazard. They're not.
Nah, nah,
They're
nah.
not.
Hell
They're
no.
not. Remember when we United used to play Hazard? He would destroy us
Under
every
Herrera
single
on him
time.
from half.
Yeah, like I'm not afraid of them. Like they can have the ball in them areas. They're getting the balls wider. They're having to now look into and think, maybe I have to put a cross in. Like
Yeah,
it's different. Before they were just there, Robert and Trent whacking them in, and they're just gonna be eating off them. But now teams are starting to make them guys get the ball a little bit more, and they're starting to having to try and create. And you can see it. Mane's not scoring as much as he was.
yeah,
Salah's scoring in goal bursts.
yeah.
Like he'll go on a 4-in-2 or 5-in-3,
Yeah,
and then
and
not score for a
the
few.
thing with
That's
Salah too is the
mm,
thing with Salah is this is something I've always said, right? I'm kind of known on Twitter as like the Salah hater. Like everyone associates me with like dissing on Salah because I'm a big Mahrez fan. But
mm,
just to talk about Salah, like I've always said, Salah is one of the best goal scorers the Premier League has probably ever seen, right? Like in terms of like poaching, in terms of like finishing, like he's top. But I've always said too, Salah's overall game is lacking. Like he's
mhm,
not a guy like you said, like Eden Hazard, who's going to grab the ball from outside the box, weave his way through five players, and find the bottom
mm.
corner. It's not going to happen. So now that, like you said, like they're kind of forcing him to take more touches, find his way through defenses. Like I think
Mhm,
Mane, it's more his game, right? He's more of a dribbler, but Salah doesn't have he doesn't have like those moves like Mane does, like Hazard does.
mhm,
So I think that's kind of where you've seen. Yes, Salah might score goals because at the end of the day, he's just a great goal scorer. He's always going to
mhm.
score goals, but his game is hurting because of like the way teams are defending Liverpool these days.
Yeah, I'm sure he's even scored like 5 penalties himself.
Yeah,
Liverpool are like the only team not to miss a penalty this season or something, and I'm
yeah, he's
sure he's
cold from the
taken
outside.
all of them. So it's at the end of the day, he's he's just having one of them quiet, efficient kind of seasons. But in terms of like his influence on games, I don't think it's as much as it was. I agree with you in terms of he's a ridiculous goal scorer, but he wasn't. He's not a 90-minute threat. Mo
Nah,
Salah. He's
yeah,
not like that. He's like I'll go start of the game and I'm gonna score and whatever. But even with Mane, I think people are a little bit overrating his general play a little bit. I think
perhaps, yeah,
Southampton Mane, first season Liverpool Mane, and the 17-18 season, he
he was
was
cold.
great outside the box.
Yeah,
Ever since he started becoming a bit of a goal scorer, I don't think his general play, like dribbling and stuff, is, and even statistics back here. I'm sure, like I think it was maybe last season or the season before, he wasn't even like in like the top 20 top 20 dribblers or something in the Premier League or something like that. Even Salah was. So it's like I think even him, he's got a focus of just
yeah,
scoring now. And yeah, as I said, I'm not afraid of him having the ball outside of the box or whatever. I'm not, but I do think they are just good enough to turn it on at any given moment. So they are
yeah,
going to keep you focused for 90. And one thing is, Mane, and Firmino, they're kind of clutch at times. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
no
even if it's the
doubt.
88th minute,
Yeah,
89th, you can't just think, oh, Mane's having a bad game. Oh, calm. Because the guy can
bro.
score headers and shit. Like, they can come alive. So
Yeah,
the way I think they can beat us, honestly, it sounds like basic, but it's just, honestly, they just have to play to the best of their ability, bro.
yeah,
Like, if Liverpool play like how Liverpool can play, they should beat us. We're the underdogs here.
no
That's the
doubt.
thing.
Yeah,
We're the
straight up.
underdogs. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
on form, but we are the underdogs. And one thing about Liverpool is that you mentioned that people are starting to find them out, but you've got to look historically. Yeah, like if you look historically in the Premier League, only one team has done a three-peat. I know Liverpool are only going for a back-to-the-back here, right? But let me land. So we're going for a three. We've done a three-peat, right? Only one
yeah,
team, Man
yeah.
United,
We did
with
it twice.
Fergie. Yeah, and what did he always do? He always rebuilt. He always added. He always
Yeah,
added.
yeah,
You look at Liverpool. Yes, they only won one title, but they're on champion. They were in champion form in the season they didn't win it. Let's be
for
honest.
3 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, they lost it by 1 point, but they flipping had 97 points
and
or
they were
whatever.
Champions League finals the year before. Like, yeah, like you. This is a 3 4 year thing. Yeah,
Exactly. Every 3 years, you on that third year, you've got to freshen it up. You've got to do something to change it. We've seen it. Man City, they did not. Third season, what happened? They won the title 17-18, 18-19. Third season, they lost the title by 20 points to Liverpool.
yeah. And the thing was,
Chelsea,
they
yeah,
lost
go on.
so many of their that core, right? Like they lost so many of that core, and they didn't
Hmm.
replace them. Yep,
Exactly. Chelsea under Jose Mourinho,
yep,
05, 04, 05, 05, 06, 06, 07, United won it.
yeah,
That third season, you have got to freshen it up, and Liverpool haven't done that enough. And now look what happens when I'm not okay. Van Dijk was an unfortunate situation because
yeah,
Pickford's moving mad, but little muscle when you're at that level, playing at that elite level, playing Champions League, going late in Champions League rounds, Super Cup, Club
yeah,
World Cup, injuries are gonna happen. And
bro.
that's why you need to freshen up, bro. And
Bro, especially
Liverpool
the way they
haven't.
play, right? The way they play is so high intensity. Like
Exactly.
injuries are always gonna happen.
Hmm. Exactly, and it's just one of them ones. Liverpool are fortunate, just the same way Man United are, that we are in this COVID kind of period or whatever. If Liverpool had these injuries if there was fans as well, I don't think
Yeah,
Liverpool will be anywhere near the
yeah,
title right
yeah,
now. But I think right now, you can kind of get through it. No fans. A lot of teams are low on confidence. You got some teams that are completely underperforming. Yeah, you do have some that are overperforming as well. So it really depends. But I just think on the third season, when you're in championship form, you've got to restart a little bit. You've got to
no
make a
doubt.
big change, and they
Yep.
haven't.
Yep. And you see like United, Ferguson is the best at that, right? Ferguson, if you look at what Sir Alex did with United, he basically coached 3 or 4 different teams at United, right? Like 4 different cycles. And with each of those cycles, he had a spine, right? The last one was kind of Rio, Rooney, Carrick was in there, Scholes was in there, Ronaldo, Van der Sar. And then in and around, he added 1 or 2 players in every year to kind of make it competitive. And like for me, you look at 2007-08, that's when he brought in Tevez, Nani, Anderson, Hargreaves. That's 4 players in the transfer window that were all playing in the final of the Champions League.
Hmm.
Those are 4 major contributors. And you're talking about Liverpool, like they bought Jota, they bought Thiago, but over the last 3 4 years, like the year where they tried to go out, repeat last year, when they didn't buy a single player to strengthen
Hmm.
that team. Like,
Yeah.
it was kind of just building off what they did the year before. So yeah, this team is kind of getting stale, right? Like you need to
Yeah.
keep adding and adding and adding.
Yeah, and it's like I'm sure there was a point. I'm sure I'm not too sure. There was a point where I checked a stat. It was like Mane and Salah were combined injured like for like 6 weeks in
Yeah,
like 2 years, three
that's
years. That
nuts.
fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
You're not gonna get that. And but to be honest, they don't even get injured that much anyway. Still,
yeah,
but that continuity is kind of an anomaly. Like you don't to keep that same side fit and ready for the whole time that they have is even crazy. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
just as you touched on, 07, 08, United added Tevez, Anderson, Nani, and Hargreaves, right?
yep.
Don't forget, we had just won the Champions League that year, right? That's the
That,
year
no,
that
that
we
was
won the
the year we
Champions
did
League.
win the Champions
No, no, no,
League.
yeah, yeah. So we won Champions
The
League
year
with
before
them,
we went to the
with them.
semis. Yeah, the
Yeah,
year
so we
before we
won the
went to the
Champions
semis.
League with them.
Yeah,
But then in 08, 09, what did Ferguson go and do? The guy would have
Berbatov.
signed Berbatov, bro.
Yeah.
Why? Just to keep people on their toes.
Yeah.
Just so we can give something. Why did we need Berbatov, Tevez, Ronaldo? Like, we didn't need to do that, but he did it because he's always thinking ahead. He's
Yeah.
already thinking Tevez might be leaving. He's already thinking Ronaldo, this is his last year. I need to
Yeah.
be prepared. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what, maybe it's not Klopp's fault. It might be FSG's fault. I don't
Yeah.
know. But I don't think they supported them. Same way City didn't. City did not strengthen, bro. And they got blown out of the title last year. But
Yeah.
this year, they gave him a little bit. Still, I think they could have probably given a bit more, maybe. Like, City probably needed a little bit more.
It's the same thing as you're saying with Liverpool, right? Like they're kind of benefit. Like they don't have their best team right now. Like if anything, this is one of the weakest City teams offensively I've ever seen. Like
Yeah,
even the
100.
Mancini era. But like you said, they're kind of benefiting from the fact that this is a COVID-stricken year. The competition isn't great. Liverpool and United aren't at their all-time best. So yeah, like same thing with City. One thing you're actually forgetting about that United team in 07-08, the year before they signed Berbatov, they had Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez, and they had Luis Saha coming off the bench as well. Like he was part of that.
Yeah, Saha.
Like, they always had four strikers. Or four
It's crazy.
always at their peak. Yeah, every time. You can tell Ollie's definitely trying to get that with, like United as well. Just get as many forward-thinking players as you can. What more can we really talk about of United Liverpool?
See, we've got Ahmad, but he's not gonna play, is he? He's imagine he has a Martial moment.
Bam.
Imagine he has a Martial moment.
Right in the stars, yeah. That'd be insane. Martin Tyler, yeah.
Yeah, nah. If we but there's not really much, man. The only really thing I can say is just that I think it's gonna be a good game. Honestly, one thing is though, it says on Burnley, every single win United have had away from home, we've conceded first. You can't do that against Liverpool.
No. Hell no, not against Liverpool.
You can't do that against Liverpool. If we do that against Liverpool, especially if we concede early, that is gonna piss me off. Like that is the one thing I'm looking. Do not concede early. Don't concede early. Like stick to a game plan and execute it.
And the thing of United too. The thing of United too. You've seen this season, especially in recent weeks, United's at their best when they start strong. Like you saw games where they started so slowly, and that's the reason why they kept going behind. Like West Ham, for example, was the worst first half in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's term that I've possibly ever seen. Like, but the fact is, like they have so many great players that they kind of bail them out of that situation, right? But you saw against Villa, you saw against even Leicester, you saw against like when they start strong, Everton in the FA Cup. When they start strong, that's when like United kind of builds off that. You start as you mean to go on. Mm-hmm. So I know at Anfield, right, we're not going to be the best team in the first 10 minutes. That's just not going to happen. Klopp is going to send those guys out pissed, hungry. They're wounded animals right now. So they're going to try and set the tone. But like you said, if we can survive those first 10, 15 minutes, kind of ride that wave and then kind of try and grow into the game into our own way, then you have a chance.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if our core turn up, we've got a massive chance. And when I say core, De Gea, Maguire, or Bailly, whoever people want to count as that. Maguire,
I'd say both of them.
The centre half, the centre halves, Paul Pogba, and Martial or Rashford, whoever people want to cut.
Bruno is in there too, right?
Bruno for me is an X factor.
Okay.
My thing is, if Bruno's having his best game, he's still not going to be a massive influence on the match. It's if he's going to score his best game, he's going to score or get an assist.
Yeah,
I think Pogba's best game can influence a match a lot more.
Okay,
I agree. Coming from?
Yeah, no.
So I think if Pogba's having a 90-minute best game, he can influence us, drive us kind of to having a good performance more than Bruno. Bruno can have his best game, but United can still be having a mare. Bruno's one of them players. He's like a Salah. Like, it doesn't matter what's going on. He's going to put his shit down, but it doesn't mean that his best game is going to be as influential as Hazard, as I said. Like, if Hazard's having his best game, he's running the show, mate. Salah's not. That's how I see it. Bruno's been an X factor, but what's happened in the big games? He's not turned up.
I want to talk to you about that. He hasn't turned up. So a lot of people, first of all, I just want to make this clear. Like, I've seen so many Bruno haters on Twitter coming from our own fan base. Like, let's just make this. I'm not a Bruno hater. Like, I love Bruno Fernandes. Like, since he's come to United, like, you can't say enough about him. Mm-hmm. But you can say in the big games he hasn't been at his best. And I have a theory for that. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it too. for me, Bruno's a very technically inconsistent player, right? Like it takes him 10 through balls to make that one killer pass. But the thing is, he has that mentality, that mental strength that he will keep playing that ball over and over and over again. He doesn't give you a minute to rest. But in the big games, when United doesn't seem to have the ball much, it lowers the amount of times he can attempt that pass, right? So the chance that he actually gets it off is even smaller. So for me, that's why Bruno in these big games he kind of struggles. But one thing I like about Bruno Fernandes, and I think it's very understated how good he is at this. When Bruno Fernandes isn't having his best game and things aren't really going well for him, I feel like he does a really good job of kind of taking away the responsibility off himself and letting other players kind of shine. Like for example, against Burnley, he didn't have the greatest game, right? Like nothing was really working. His flicks, his over the top balls, they weren't really working. He noticed Paul Pogba was having such an influence on the game that he kind of took a back seat and allowed the players around him to kind of dictate the game and leave where he kind of left off.
My thing, I agree with that as well. But my thing with Bruno is, I 100% agree with what you're saying about technically inefficient. He's not
Yeah,
technically like always secure. Do you know what
yeah,
I
he's
mean?
not De
It's not
Bruyne,
like
right? Like,
it's not it's De Bruyne. He's not a Grealish. He's not
yeah,
a De Bruyne. He's not always. It's not perfection when he's on the ball. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, no
But
doubt.
even when you say killer passes, he doesn't always really play killer passes. But one thing I like about Bruno, but I think people underrate as well, is that we look at his assists, right? Some of his assists just look like he's just given a 2 yard pass and the person's gone and scored. But
Yeah,
people don't look at the fact that Bruno, when he moves around the pitch, he's always moving to where there's potentially an overload or where the closest opportunity to score a goal is or
yeah,
whatever. So those little passes that he's giving, he's always in that space to get the ball on the half turn and just give it to the over, like it might be a Martial on the left or just a little thing to Rashford, but he's always close enough to give that intelligent, not even, it's not even really an intelligent pass, it's just the final pass. At the end of the day, it's the final pass, but it's his positioning where he goes to find those areas. Do you know what I mean? He's not
yeah,
getting the ball most of the time. He's not getting the ball just like, I don't know, in the middle of the pitch passing it and somebody runs past 5 man and goes and scores. It's not like that. He may
yeah,
get the ball on the half turn behind the defender, pass it, and that player might do something nice and score. It's not going to be a
yeah,
killer pass, but he's getting it in the right areas. And that's where we need to be finding Bruno, because he goes chasing sometimes for it.
yeah, he does.
Sometimes he pops up on the right. I admire that he's always trying to stay involved in the game, and that's how he does get his assists. Because Bruno, one thing we can say about Bruno and Rashford is people can talk about, oh, they go missing and blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, the reason why they are our statistically best players is because they don't hide. They don't hide. They continuously keep going, keep going. Rashford is one of them players where if Rashford and Bruno are having a bad game, they're gonna look like the worst players in the world
Yeah, yeah,
because they're gonna shoot, they're gonna try dribbles, they're gonna
yeah,
have a bad touch, they're gonna do
yeah,
all of this type of stuff. Whereas like a Martial, Pogba's kind of like that. But when you look at like a Martial, for example, only this season now or lately he's missing a lot of chances. But when he has a bad game, you kind of don't think he's having a bad game because no disrespect to him, I think he kind of shies away from the game a little bit. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He shies away
yeah,
from
no
it
doubt, no doubt, no doubt. But
compared
again, people are
to
not gonna want to hear that, but it's true. That's true.
exactly you're gonna look here and think Martial didn't do nothing, but you're not gonna go out leaving it saying Martial's fucking shit. Da, 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 da. But with Rashford and Bruno, bro, when they're having a bad game, they are they look like the worst players ever.
Because they,
But
they keep trying it over and over again. But like you're
they
saying,
keep
like
going.
Rashford, like for me, the perfect one, Burnley. Rashford was horrible against Burnley, bro. Like terrible.
Hmm.
But he
Picks
keeps
out that
taking out his
pass.
man. He keeps trying that run behind. He keeps finding balls in the box, and then eventually he gets that assist. And that comes
Hmm.
from honestly one of the worst games he's played all season. And yeah,
Exactly, and that's why,
no.
bro. Like, what, 29 goals between them this season? Like,
Bruno, Rashford has scored or assisted in every single away game except for one this year for United.
that's crazy. I didn't even know that. But
There you go.
we 100% need Bruno. Like, I said those 4 players, but Bruno does need to turn up. But as I
Yeah,
said, I think it's more important for someone like a Pogba to turn
I
up.
agree with that. Yeah,
But Bruno, at one point, you're gonna have to announce. Okay, you've announced yourself ridiculously to us. I can't say that, but at one point, you're gonna have to just come with that moment. You know what I mean? Like that moment. Yeah, we've had all the goals, we've got all the stats. You're ridiculous. We know that. But that moment, you don't become a United legend. You don't become a top player without these moments,
The
bro.
big game,
Everyone's
man.
had it,
Yeah.
and we need him to do that, man.
And I mean, yeah, this is the perfect game to do it, right? Like you have a guy like Diego Forlan who did absolutely nothing in his United career, but he's got a chant to this day because he made the Scousers cry. So I mean,
Bro,
any player, any
literally.
player on their day against Liverpool, you can set your United legacy.
Bro, facts. Look at One Matter. We're always gonna remember Wanfield.
On
We're
field, yeah,
always gonna remember Wanfield. You like I put a picture up in my group chat like the other day, even like with like Mason Greenwood as well. I'm like, yo, need you announce yourself. Like I put a picture up the other day. Like I know it's not at Anfield, but like Rashford goals v Liverpool
yeah,
has a moment v Liverpool. Martial, obviously that great
bro.
Martial, Rooney. Mm.
Martial. The reason fans are still like to this day backing him, like we believe in him. It's because of that first goal. He can skirtle and find the bottom corner. People are giving
Yeah.
up on him quick, bro.
Yeah, honestly, bro. Like, so these are the moments you become
Yeah,
not a legend. Like, that's too far. I'm not saying if we win now everyone's
yeah,
legends, but these are the
cult
moments.
hero.
Yeah, these are the moments you become a cult hero. Imagine one of these players are responsible for ending Liverpool's 60-game unbeaten run to make Man United go
Bro.
6 points clear. Mate, listen, they're gonna be mobbed in Manchester. If it wasn't for COVID, they'll be mobbed. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? They'll be
yeah.
mobbed, man. So honestly, bro, you need
Ah,
that, man.
thanks. Juan Bissaka, you score a winner for us this weekend, mate. We're all is forgiven, bro.
If Wan-Bissaka scores a win, if Wan-Bissaka scores the winner, I'll do a forfeit, bro. Of anyone's choice, I swear to
Oi,
you,
you heard that
anyone's
here.
choice. I'll do a forfeit if Wan-Bissaka scored the winner. Boy, listen, I'll probably do the spinner Rooney, mate. I'll do the spinner Rooney.
All right, bro. Let's wrap this up. To kind of wrap this up, what is your prediction this Sunday? Liverpool versus Manchester United, top of the table clash.
Jeez, that's
I
a
know the
tough
heart's
one, you
telling. I
know.
know the heart's telling you United 3-0, but what's the head telling
Nah,
you?
and you know what's funny?
Yeah,
I did one of them score. You know them things where like there's the scores are like flashing and then it says press pause at the result
yeah.
or whatever. I paused it. It said United 3-0, you know. I was like,
It's
nah, you
fate.
know what? I'm gonna go. This is a tough one. You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 2-1 United.
2-1 United. Yo. Hey, man, that
Oh
won't be the
shit.
popular choice, but shit.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go, man. I think something might be happening,
You
man.
got you
I
have
think
that
something's
feeling,
happening.
right? Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I've had this feeling about Anfield game for a while. So it's like I can't just turn it away and hide it. So I'm just gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say we'll get a win. We'll get a win.
Bro, I mean, if it's ever gonna
What about
happen,
you?
it's gonna be this year, right? No Van
Mm,
Dyke, no fans, United on a high, Liverpool on a low. Like, if we don't win this weekend, we might not win at Anfield for the next 5 years.
honestly, bro.
But shit, I don't know. I'm gonna take a more pragmatic, maybe just like Ollie will this weekend as well. Maybe that's why I think it's gonna end up 1-1. And I have this feeling,
One
just like
one.
you said, Bobby Firmino is gonna have a huge role in this game, bro. And I think he's gonna score for Liverpool.
You reckon?
I think 1-1.
I
Which is a
think
good result,
Rashford.
right? You
I
would
think
take
Rashford
1-1
will.
right now, right? If I offer you
I'll
1-1,
take 1-1. I'll
yeah,
take 1-1. I'll take 1-1 all day long. I'm
yeah,
good. Take that. Go again. Yeah, I mean, go again next week. I think our fixtures after that
very
are quite
favorable.
favorable, bro. And
Sheffield, Fulham, Arsenal, all bottom 10 teams. So
yeah. And the thing is, that's the thing about United at the moment. We're compared to last season, it's like we've thrown away our top six shit and just decided, hey, we're just gonna beat all the little teams and get where
yeah,
we are, bro. We've won the most games in the league this season.
no
That's
doubt.
just through beating the little teams. But hey, man, we've only lost 3 games in a year, is it? I think since Bruno's come, 3 matches in the league.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy to think that, right? Like it seems like it's all doom and gloom every week at United, but when you look
Mm.
at it in
We're actually
2020,
consistent.
yeah, in 2020, only Liverpool picked up more points than us.
Yeah, and that's because they had a game in hand as well. They
Yeah,
had that game in hand. If we had that Burnley match before, we would have been ahead of them. We would
yeah.
have picked up the most points, I think it was. So, hey, we're consistent, but who knows, man? It's a big game, innit? It's a big game. But I'm
All
gonna
right.
go for United win.
I
I'll
I
go
hope
for
you're right.
United win.
Just to kind of wrap this up, guys, to all 83 people who are still here, first of all, the support on this video was massive, right? I was seeing numbers over 100. Like, much love for that. Much love for Cam coming on the show, man. Really appreciate that. Before we sign off, the floor is yours. What do you want to say?
Yeah, man. Guys, follow me, CultureCams on Twitter, CultureCams on IG, CultureCams on YouTube as well. Obviously, I do match reactions and all of that type of stuff. And yeah, man, if you're not subscribed as well to how do you pronounce your name, bro? Is it Lias?
Lias.
Lias, yeah. If you're not subscribed, man, subscribe to his thing. As I said, man, I mess with you, man, and obviously I don't really do much content with many other people. So yeah, man, I keep doing your thing, man, and obviously I like all your compilations and all those type of things, man. Keep it up, bro.
Much love, bro. Much
Keep
love,
it up, man.
Yeah, all Cam's stuff is going to be in the description below. If you are new to this channel, if you're coming from Cam's Twitter, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you leave a like on the video. And if you missed any part of this stream at all, it's going to be on YouTube in a bit. So stay tuned for that as well. But yeah, without further ado, this has been another episode of Whole Lot of Mid. We'll see you when we see you. All right.